Sakura has been popular with Japanese people since ancient times as a representative flower of Japan. The flower language of Sakura often expresses inner beauty, such as spiritual beauty and elegant woman. In Japan, cherry blossoms generally bloom from March to April. Some varieties, such as October cherry blossoms and winter cherry blossoms, bloom twice, from September to December and from February to March. In addition, there are many types of flowering season, such as those that bloom in early spring and those that bloom in late spring, such as Prunus kansakura. In late January, the cherry blossom front traverses the Japanese archipelago from Okinawa in the south to Hokkaido in the north for about 5 months. The cherry blossom front is named because it resembles the movement of the front on a weather map when the flowering dates of the Yoshino cherry tree, which is the most planted in Japan, are connected by a line. There are many types of cherry blossoms, which are representative of spring flowers in Japan, and there are about 15 types of native cherry blossoms. There are more than 300 varieties of cherry blossoms that have been bred for horticulture, and they are also planted in the gardens of ordinary households, parks of public facilities, and streets. About 80% of Japanese cherry blossoms are Soma Yoshino. This is a variety that has been cultivated since the Edo period, and is said to be a cultivar made by being crossed by the gardeners in Somai village during the Edo period. The cherry blossoms bloom at different times depending on the temperature, but Soma Yoshino have the characteristic of blooming all at once even in places with different temperatures. As a famous cherry blossom viewing spot outside Japan, the row of cherry blossom trees on the banks of the Potomac River in Washington, D.C., USA, which is a symbol of friendly relations between Japan and the United States, is famous. In the Yayoi, Coffin, and Asuka periods, cherry blossoms are said to have been worshipped as sacred trees where the god of grain dwells. Plum appreciation, which is the prototype of modern hanami, begins in the Nara period. Hanami is a Japanese tradition of welcoming spring to enjoy watching the cherry blossoms. The scent of plum blossoms became popular, especially among aristocrats, and a party was held to sing songs while watching the plum blossoms. This is said to be the prototype of the hanami. In the Nara period, plum blossoms were more popular than ancient Japanese cherry blossoms. In the Heian period, sakura became more popular than plum. In 812, it is said that Emperor Saga performed the first hanami in Japan. Taking this opportunity, hanami was held every year, and it became an annual event sponsored by the emperor. The feature-length novel Genji Monogatari also depicts the gorgeous cherry blossom viewing at that time. In this way, cherry blossom viewing spread among the aristocrats through the cherry blossom viewing organized by the emperor. It can be said that it was during the Heian period that the recognition that hanami are the cherry blossoms became popular. In the Kamakura period, samurai did hanami and hanami began to be held in rural areas. The Zuhitsu Chorazuragusa written by Yashida Kenko describes the difference in how to enjoy cherry blossom viewing of the people of Kyoto and cherry blossom viewing of the people of the countryside. On the other hand, the Kamakura, Miramachi, and Azuchi Momoyama periods were wartime. The Azuchi Momoyama period was a time when Nobunaga and Hideyoshi Toyotomi, warlords of the warring states, were in control of the central government. Throughout this era, hanami has gradually become grand. Among them, hanami in Yoshino and hanami in Daigo held by Toyotomi Hideyoshi are famous. Hanami in Yoshino was held in 1594 with 1,000 cherry trees brought from Osaka planted and 5,000 people gathered. In this way, it is thought that hanami has become established as a banquet event. In addition, it is said that hanami dango, rice dumplings eaten at hanami, have appeared from hanami in Daigo. Sakura color of hanami dango is spring cherry blossoms, white is winter snow, and green is wormwood, which are signs of summer. Also, because there is no autumn, it is said that you will never get bored. In the Edo period, ordinary people began to enjoy cherry blossom viewing. In 1720, the 8th shogun, Yashamune Tokugawa, planted large-scale cherry trees in Asakusa, Sumida River, and Asukama. At that time, the Sumida River, which flows through Edo, was prone to flooding due to heavy rain, causing damage to rural areas. However, it is said that it was impossible to build an embankment on the entire Sumida River even with the budget of the shogunate, so it was proposed to plant cherry trees along the river. As a result, many people gathered under the cherry blossoms, and hanami culture spread. In addition, it is said that it promoted the planting of cherry trees in rural areas and built a famous place for cherry blossoms. This was a measure in anticipation that if a cherry blossom viewing spot was created in a rural area, the income of farmers from cherry blossom viewing would increase. It is said that during this period, cherry blossom viewing became a spring holiday event among the common people, and the custom of eating lunch and drinking alcohol began. Since the number of cherry blossoms grows by grafting, the growth speed is fast, and trees have been planted and spread all over Japan since the Meiji period. 80% of cherry blossoms for hanami in modern times are Somae Yoshino. Since ancient times, Japanese people have been fascinated by the beauty of cherry blossoms. Many cherry blossom-themed arts such as literature, paintings, songs, and anime have been created. Cherry blossoms have been widely expressed, from those depicting beautiful cherry blossoms to those depicting the ephemeral appearance of cherry blossom petals falling quickly. I would like everyone from all over the world to come to Japan and enjoy the beauty of cherry blossoms.